With just days until the general election, the Tories are at odds over income tax. Theresa May refused to back one of her senior colleagues who insisted taxes wouldn't rise, instead saying she would keep them as low as possible.
What people will know when they go to vote on Thursday is that it's the Conservative Party that always has been and is and always will be a low-tax party.
Also on the programme, a show of unity. The singer Ariana Grande meets young fans in hospital ahead of tomorrow night's benefit concert in Manchester.
Wings of Eagles, sweep to conquer! Wings of Eagles!
And winging it, the 40-to-1 outsider Wings of Eagles wins the richest horse race in Britain.
This is ITV News with Lucrezia Millarini.
Good evening. There appear to be mixed messages from the Conservative Party today over their policy on tax. Campaigning in West Yorkshire, Theresa May insisted the Tories were a low-tax party, but stopped short of repeating comments made by senior cabinet colleagues that income tax would not go up. More from our political correspondent, Angus Walker.
Time for tea. The Prime Minister on the campaign trail in Yorkshire today. But has a row over tax been brewing within the Tory party? Senior cabinet colleagues, including the Chancellor, saying there are no plans to raise income tax if the Conservatives win.
We have no plans for tax increases of any kind, but if you want to keep taxes low, you need to elect a Conservative government who will spend your money carefully and keep taxes at the lowest possible level that we can.
The Prime Minister, Theresa May.
But the Tory manifesto doesn't say there are no plans to raise taxes. Theresa May today repeated the broader intention to keep taxes low.
What people will know when they go to vote on Thursday is that it's the Conservative Party that always has been and is and always will be a low-tax party. And it's our firm intention to reduce taxes for ordinary working families.
We're going to win, aren't we?
We're absolutely going to win.
A confident Jeremy Corbyn now claiming Tory tax plans are in chaos, while defending his manifesto promise to raise taxes for higher earners.
We cannot go on as a country giving tax breaks and tax relief at the top end and expecting every public service to be cut, every public service worker to work longer hours and harder, and wages to be low, falling or frozen for so many other people. We cannot go on like this.
Labour's plans would see those earning above 80,000 pay 45 pence income tax and a 50 pence rate for people earning over 123,000. The Conservative manifesto promises to keep taxes as low as possible. The Lib Dems want to put a penny on income tax to pay for the NHS and social care. So it appears that some senior Tories are keen to make a sharper contrast between Labour's plans to raise taxes and the Conservative intention to be the party of lower taxes.
So, Angus, there is some dancing around the detail here, but it is quite an important distinction, isn't it?
Yes, you're certainly left with the impression today that there are senior Tories who'd like to go further than the manifesto, which makes these broad, aspirational comments, and actually say there are no plans to put up taxes. It was telling that Theresa May, when she had the opportunity to say there are no plans, didn't take that opportunity when she was on television earlier today in Yorkshire. But we know that Theresa May does not like to be tied down. She got rid of the 5-year tax guarantee that she inherited from David Cameron. She doesn't like to be tied down. She wants room to manoeuvre, it seems, even if that leaves her vulnerable to attack.
All right, Angus, thank you. Well, there's been another arrest in the investigation into the Manchester bombing. It takes the total number of people arrested to 17. 11 of those remain in custody. As the city prepares for tomorrow night's tribute concert, survivors of the bomb were surprised by Ariana Grande at an impromptu visit to the Children's Hospital. Well, Geraint Vincent met up with one girl who got to meet her idol.
Lily Harrison is smiling again. The 8-year-old has been in hospital for most of the last 2 weeks, but yesterday she had a very special visitor. Ariana Grande came by to see how she was getting on.
Who gave you that teddy bear, Lily?
Ariana
Grande.
And what did she say to you when she gave it to you?
She said, I hope you like it.
And do you?
Yeah.
Lily was at the concert with her mum and dad. They were all hurt in the explosion. Lily had a broken arm and shrapnel wounds in her back. Did you tell her about the operations you've had to have?
Yeah.
What did you tell her?
That it hurts having stitches in your back. It's a bit scary at first, but then once it's over, it seems like it's gone really fast.
People like Ariana Grande, I suppose they'll never know how much a visit like that means to somebody like, just a modest sort of family from Stockport, but it's really just meant the world to her, and she's made up, aren't you?
As a little bit of happiness was spread in the hospital wards, the police pursued fresh lines of inquiry. More buildings searched today and another arrest made overnight. While the investigation into the bombing is of course continuing, police in Manchester now have another priority, and that's the security operation for a star-studded benefit concert which will be attended by some of the survivors tomorrow night. Ariana Grande will be the headline act at what's billed as the One Love concert at the cricket ground in Old Trafford. Are you looking forward to the concert tomorrow night?
I'm really excited.
After the horror, there's one little girl here who's ready to learn that the world isn't always a scary place. Geraint Vincent, ITV News, Manchester.
Suicide bombers have killed at least 6 people at a funeral in Kabul. The victims were attending the funeral of one of 5 men who were killed during Friday's protest over government security. At least 90 more people were injured by today's blast. It's being hailed by scientists as the biggest breakthrough in ovarian cancer for a decade. The new treatment that dramatically shrunk tumours in around half of women who took part in a small trial. Those patients had advanced cancer that had stopped responding to standard treatment. Martha Fairley reports.
How have you been?
I have actually been really well. Yes.
Marianne Heath was diagnosed with advanced stage 3 ovarian cancer in 2011. Despite chemotherapy and surgery, the tumours had spread to her back and stomach. But during a 12-week trial of a new treatment for ovarian cancer, all her tumours shrank and the disease stabilised, giving her and her family a better quality of life.
Yes, it definitely has helped me because it has shrunk the tumours, which was the whole idea.
We lived our lives normally for the last 6 or 9 months, so that's a big success as far as we're concerned.
Onyx 0801 is the first of a new class of drugs developed by the Institute of Cancer Research and the Royal Marsden. It works by mimicking folic acid to enter cancer cells and kill them.
It only affects the cancer cell and not the normal cell. So while you get spectacular responses in patients with ovarian cancer, you don't get the side effects commonly seen with chemotherapies such as low white cell count or infection or sore mouth or diarrhea or hair loss. I think that's very exciting.
It's seen as a promising breakthrough, but further studies are now needed.
They haven't studied the drug for long enough to know whether it can potentially help patients survive their disease, and it hasn't shrunk tumours in all patients. It was in around half of patients that were given the treatment. So again, we need to make sure that the drug is followed up in more women to try and work out who might benefit from this treatment.
This trial involved just 15 women, but 7 of them saw their tumours shrink, and researchers want to conduct much larger clinical trials as soon as possible on the back of this initial success. Martha Fairley, ITV News.
Football and security has been tightened in Cardiff this evening ahead of the Champions League final. More than 170,000 fans are in the city to watch tonight's game, where Real Madrid are looking to retain the trophy against Juventus. Well, Mike Griffiths is in Cardiff for us this evening. And Mike, it looks like the party is in full swing.
Yes, it certainly is. Cardiff is a city that's used to hosting major sports events. Rugby World Cup only 2 years ago, internationals every year, and only 3 years ago we were playing host to a number of the venues for the NATO summit. So we're used to having a lot of people here and used to having big security operation. This, though, I can tell you, is like nothing else we've seen before. The stadium's only a stone's throw from where we are now, in the heart of the city centre. Huge number of fans congregating here. You can't even get close to the stadium if you don't have a ticket. And a number of roads throughout the city centre have been closed for 2 days now, as well as in the Bay Area, not far away. This is a major operation with a major number of police and security staff here as well. Ultimately, the fans who've come here from across the world have come here for a night of excellent football, absolutely world class. But for those of us here in Cardiff, the spotlight and the eyes of the footballing world are here on Cardiff tonight.
All right, Mike Griffiths, thank you. Well, tennis, and Andy Murray is through to the 4th round of the French Open. The world #1, bidding for his first title at Roland Garros, beat Argentina's Juan Martín del Potro in straight sets. And finally, the richest horse race in British history, the Epsom Derby, has been won by a 40-to-1 outsider.
Cracksman leads the chase, lifts up Rower down the outside, mowing them all down.
The sprint for the finish looked like it could go one of several ways, with pre-race favourites Cracksman and Cliffs of Moher both in contention. But it was Aidan O'Brien's Wings of Eagles that came through late to steal victory and the £1.6 million prize pot. And that's it. I'm back at 10:30. Until then, enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.